Well, it's a little late now. I would have liked a little tougher. I would like to have had this question pinned down completely about whether or not Kriegel told the mayor that Frank Serpico was unhappy about the way the police department was investigating his charges of corruption. And they never pinned it down. Their questions refer to it, the problem, and that. And so therefore Kriegel explained with some reason, I suppose, that that and the problem meant general corruption, which he did say that he told the mayor about. He said 2 police officers came to him and talked about police corruption, but that's all he ever really admitted saying. And they never, on this point of concern to everybody about whether he reported the fact that the department was dragging his feet, in a public session he said he had refreshed his recollection, and he remembered now that he had not told the mayor that. And there wasn't anything else in the executive session testimony that the district attorney's office could use.
You feel now then that there's no chance of indicting Kriegel on any of those charges, any aftermath of those hearings?
No, and I'm not so sure he should be indicted. I mean, I only can go on the basis of, I feel on the basis of the questions that the district attorney's office had to deal with, their decision not to proceed with an indictment was quite reasonable. Now, I don't know whether what Kriegel's answers would have been to tougher questions. That's something we will never know, and that's the point I'm making.
Peter, why do you say that Michael Armstrong is not telling the truth when about the Knapp Commission's closed executive session questioning?
Well, because he didn't. You know, I'm sick and tired of political cover-ups, whether they're national or local. In this case, they're local. The cover-up I'm talking about is the deliberate attempt by Michael Armstrong of the Knapp Commission to deliberately mislead the public about the secret executive session interrogation of J. Kriegel, mayoral aide J. Kriegel. In my book, Serpico, I wrote that barely more than a page and a half, barely more than a page of the executive session interrogation was given over to a question that the district attorney's office later considered indicting Kriegel for perjury. Armstrong issued a statement to the New York Times that said that more than 50 pages of the transcript covered what Kriegel told Mayor Lindsay about a meeting he had with 2 police officers, Frank Serpico and David Dirk, about police corruption. The particular question was whether Kriegel had also told the mayor that the Serpico felt that the police department was dragging its heels on the investigation. Armstrong issued the statement and said more than 50 pages. He was trying to show how aggressive and tough the Knapp Commission's interrogation of Kriegel was, and it's not so. So I'm releasing not only the barely more than a page that I referred to in my book, which Armstrong knows only dealt with the perjury, possible perjury on Kriegel's part, but I'm also releasing everything else that was asked of Kriegel about what he told Mayor Lindsay of the meeting with Serpico and Dirk, and even they, using any measurement Armstrong wants to use, total less than 4 pages and not the 50 that he pretends to have asked.
Why do you think Armstrong went easy on Kriegel?
Well, I could only judge from the record. I noticed that, first of all, Commissioner Knapp was asked on television whether he was going to interrogate Mayor Lindsay, and he said, how can I investigate the man who appointed me? Kriegel only was asked to testify after about a week and a half of headlines in the media saying that there was a big cover-up involving City Hall. And I just don't think they went, certainly on the record, they didn't go very far. Before Kriegel even testified, Armstrong and Knapp went to Gracie Mansion to see Mayor Lindsay. They didn't put him under oath, and Kriegel was present at that meeting, and they went through this whole thing, what Kriegel was going to say, and then when Armstrong dropped an apparent bombshell in the public session saying, didn't you say one thing in executive session, now you're saying another thing now, he knew in advance what Kriegel was going to say. You know, in my opinion, I think he was just trying to demonstrate that the commission was really politically independent of Mayor Lindsay. And I think he was probably surprised as anybody else that the perjury part of it ensued.